This right here is the Huawei Matepad. Let's see if it's any good. Hello, Nick here from TechNuovo and welcome back to the channel. Today I have the Huawei Matepad here with me. But before we get too far into the review, please show some support for the channel and help us grow by subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up and following us on our socials. So the Matepad is stacked in terms of features and includes a 10.4-inch IPS display which has a 2000 by 1200 resolution, 16.7 million colours and 470 nits of brightness. At its core, it includes the Kirin 810 7nm processor and the Male G52 GPU. You can get either a 3 or 4 GB of RAM and either 32 or 64 GB of onboard storage. If that isn't enough for you, you can expand the storage up to an additional 512 GB with a micro SD card. There is also 8 megapixel front facing and rear cameras and a 7250 mAh battery, which may last up to 12 hours depending on how you use it. The tablet oozes sophistication and finesse. It has a glossy black screen with a relatively slim bezel at around 7mm. It's very thin at just 7mm and the back panel has a satin grey finish to it. It's lightweight and thin, it's curvy on the edges and it's just a very sleek piece of tech. To the front, centrally at the top if you're holding it landscape, is the front facing ultra wide camera, while at the rear is another camera and a flash. Top left is your volume control, left hand side is your power on button and to the right is the USB-C port. Each side of the tablet when held landscape has 2 sets of speakers, so 4 in total, which is good, but when holding it, the bottom 2 speakers are covered by your hands. Setting up the tablet was straightforward and just like any other tablet or phone. However, you do have to create a Huawei account and accept several terms and conditions. I've never seen anything quite like it, in fact. During setup and while using the tablet, continually being asked to accept this and that, and it's actually quite off-putting. As for performance, visually it's fantastic. The display is crisp and vibrant. I watched a number of videos from YouTube, Netflix and Amazon, all of which offered a very good image. With 470 nits of brightness, or 450? With 470 nits of brightness, you'll be able to use the tablet in reasonably bright conditions too. The display is pretty nippy, sliding left, right, up and down. It's very responsive. The Matepad's audio is pretty good too. It's very loud considering the size of the speakers provided. With speakers either side, you get a nice representation of both left and right audio channels, which is great while watching a movie. As mentioned before, if you was holding the tablet landscape, you end up covering the bottom 2 speakers with your hands, but I didn't notice a significant drop in volume or quality by doing so, which was good.
It's no secret that Huawei are having a pretty difficult time in the mobile industry, and it's great that such a prominent electronics brand is branching out into other spaces, like we've recently seen with the Huawei MateBook 13. So it's now time for sister company Honor to join them with their new MagicBook 14, which is a small form factor Windows laptop that's definitely taking design inspiration from a more widely known laptop manufacturer. I bet you can guess who it is.
Performance while using apps was great, very quick and smooth. I tried some social media apps plus a couple of games, all of which worked very well. I played a game called Free Fire, your typical battle royale, and in my first game I won. I must have been playing against bots or something because I don't usually win these types of games. The game ran very smooth and the graphics were better than expected too. The buttons on screen for the controls during the game were easy to reach and use with both of my thumbs. As for the cameras, they were fine for taking pictures, but you won't win any photography awards with it. The front facing camera was more than adequate for video calls, so no problems there. Battery life was good. I used it on and off for a week, mainly for work stuff and watching Netflix. I think I charged it twice, once before setup and once midweek, and I was using it quite a lot. Other worthwhile mentions include an ebook option, which sort of turns it into a Kindle, and you can also multitask, i.e. have 2 things on the screen at once. Oh, and you can also purchase a separate pencil, the M pencil, if you wanted to get your art on with the Matepad. So far so good, until we talk Huawei and their modded Android operating system. Although Huawei have done a nice job with their default system apps, their app store is ever so limited, with a number of popular apps missing, waiting to be added, or require a third-party APK install. To get Netflix, I was redirected to a random website to download the APK file and install the software myself. It worked fine, but I wasn't keen on it at all. I wanted to try a number of games I've played before. They weren't available, nor were things like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Lightroom, YouTube. I could go on. So there we have it. I think the Matepad is a fantastic tablet. It looks and feels superb. The display is crisp and vibrant. It's nippy, it's responsive, and battery life is good too. It lacks a little on the camera front, and the lack of popular app availability in the Huawei App Store is very disappointing. If you're happy to potentially live without some of your favourite apps, I would highly recommend checking out the Matepad. The 3GB version we tried retails at $229 in the UK, which is very well priced for the market. The 4GB version is $269, and if you want more power, they do offer a Pro version too at $449, which includes a number of upgrades. If you have stuck around to the end of this video, thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be uploading a bunch of new content on the regular, so don't miss out.